You're listening to Lioness Isasha in session.
Zooby dooby doom doom dooby dooby doom doom dooby dooby doom doom doom. One them original zooby dooby doom 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 dooby doom doom doom. Lyrical in the land zooby dooby doom 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 dooby doom doom doom. Kick a rhythm and I say fi go on and kick a version. Long time lyrical now they a come mash up the land. Repeat it again. Can't come a dance if you don't have original something. See that again is not enough just to post ragamuffin. Got to have a message and a feeling into the music. Want go get a beat, please do it and never refuse it. People them a jump up and down if them hear reggae music. Drum and the bass just a hold them, watch them a lose it. Them a say they make them feel so fine. Everybody tune in and know why. This music gonna change your mind. One love in the land.
You're listening to Lioness
This music gonna change your mind.
session.
One love in the land.
You're listening
People outside
to
just come in
Lioness
and enjoy
Isasha
reggae
in
music.
session.
White, black, purple, the yellow and blue, don't refuse it. Chilling, 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 murderer. Chilling, 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 murderer. Oh, they feel about the ancient roots reggae music. Right up in a 2008 and we never did a lose it. If you don't forget where you are from,
Welcome
then
to
you
the
never be
Lioness
left to the
Den.
ground.
So tell us where you're from and a little bit about your background history.
Well, I come from the Netherlands. I live in the city, the capital, Amsterdam. My mother is Dutch, and my father comes from Suriname, South America area. And I grew up in Amsterdam all my life.
How did you get into the music and more importantly, reggae music?
I think that music was always a part of my life from early childhood. I was with the Salvation Army as a young soldier, so-called, and I used to go on the street Sunday evening with them, and we sing our songs, and that was how I started out singing for God. And throughout the time, reggae music and more important, the spiritual idea that the reggae music contained, that was appealing to me, and when I started reading my Bible and connecting with reggae music, that's when I started to see the deepness in the music. So that attracted to me specifically reggae music,
Who and or what influences your music?
God is the one that is the designer. I wouldn't say just the influence, I would say he's the designer of the song. The words are given because he is the word, manifested in flesh. So that is the inspiration, so talk, for the music, but it's more than just he inspires and I would then work it out, it's deeper than that. He's really there, present, designing the song, and word for word make sure that it expresses whatever the Father wants us to share.
What does reggae mean to you?
Reggae music to me means God's music, a music of God's people crying out, which reflects the spirit, the soul and the mind of God's people in exile here in Babylon, searching to find the truth and the reconnection and the celebration thereof, even here in Babylon. That's what reggae music means to me in its original concept.
How are you inspired?
Well, by JAH, Jah is the one who makes something appeal, makes something stand out, and also makes certain songs remembered. You know, certain songs, because I freestyle a lot, so certain songs just are there for that moment, for that time, never to be repeated again. And other songs, they keep coming back, you know, that did make us decide that time with King Shiloh to record certain songs for the album, you know. But there's no say what makes you inspired, really, because it's Jah who decides certain things have to be said for a certain amount of people, for certain specific purposes, you know. And we don't know the deepness of why we get inspired by Jah to say certain things in that place and say certain things in that place. We just know that Jah control, and that people appreciate the vibes, you know, and hopefully carry something home in their heart.
What motivates you, drives you?
Well, the knowledge that music, when used in the right way, which is God's way, can connect people, you know. It's a spiritual. If it's spiritually used, then it has such a power, you know. When I was younger, I used to listen a lot of Brigadier Jerry tapes, and the way it made me feel when I listened that tape, it made me like proud to be a servant of Jah, you know, and feel like you don't stand alone. There is thousands and thousands of us who know Jah same way, you know, and that unity vibe, that by reflecting that we are one people and that we all search for the same thing, that to me is a big drive in the music, you know. As I was feeling it when I listened Brigadier, and I still do, so I hope to play a small part in that by passing it on to people that might not hear Brigadier but feel the vibes, you know, by many of us who learn from that. That's just one example, you know. Jah is the root of it all, but that knowledge that it has such a potential. Even in the Bible, you can see that music was used to comfort Saul, you know, and David was playing on his harp. So even from those days, music was a vital part of the spiritual life, you know. So that is a big drive to me.
Tell me about your first ever production.
My very first production, that was My Dream. Yeah, I was very young when I recorded that. My Dream. We recorded that in Cologne, in Germany, and I remember being very nervous about it because I didn't know about the studio runnings at all. You know, I thought that King Shiloh was charged by the hour, you know, and the longer it took, the more money they would have to pay for the studio time, you know. And that wasn't the case, but I assumed that, you know. So under that idea, I remember I was writing the lyrics in the studio and then trying to sing them from the paper, you know, and that didn't work because you miss lines, or you're more like singing, rushing the lines, you know, instead of just taking time and control your breathing and thing. So a brother named Matthias, he took the paper off me and he told me not to sing from the paper no more. And he was right, because that's how we recorded it, and that's how it was put to record, you know. Yeah, it was a very nice song, you know. Couldn't be my dream alone, oh no. Black and white to live up as one. Couldn't be my dream alone, oh no. The gates of Mount Zion stand strong. Rastafari.
Tell me, where does all the magic happen?
The magic. Well, the magic happens inside your heart. You know, that's where it really happens. You know, inside your own spirit. And what I mean by that is that it's like they have this old phrase. You know, if the devil can't fool you, he will try to keep you busy. You know, to keep you off edge. So that's what the system that we're living in is trying to do, to get us off edge. Now, by awareness of that, through faith in God, you can consciously isolate yourself from that, not to manipulate you into being stressed and distracted, you know. So it's faith first in God that creates that rest, that you're not looking up to the world to give you some ease, but to look to God to give you some ease. And with God, everything different, you know, your whole purpose of being, your works that you have to do, completely different, you know, than from what the world is trying to make us believe is what it's all about. So that is step number one, you know, the faith in God, so that these attempts to keep you busy and off edge are like flattened, you know, because we're looking up to the hills from whence our strength comes. So that's the first step. And from that point of view, from that given position, we can live. And from that onwards, through the eyes of Jah, we see the world and we see ourselves, you know. So it's faith is the so-called hidden generator behind that so-called magic, you know. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, Bob said, you know. That's kind of making the same point.
Tell me about your next release.
Well, there's a few songs that I recently recorded that's supposed to come out. There is a tune called Jerusalem Calling that was remixed, and I got it sent up. So that's supposed to come out in a while. With our IYAH Alex from SHILOH-ITES in Sweden. I did record a tune called JAH-SHALOM that also was finalized and supposed to release. So there's a few songs supposed to come out in the short time, you know. And recently we did a tune called Church Surface. That was an unknown rhythm, a long time rhythm. So that's like an internet release, not like a production release. But there's always songs coming up, you know, and songs recorded here in my own studio and sent to Slimmer, finalized, you know, at first stage to be played in sound system, and then as the occasion appears, there's tunes to be released, you know. Also with Slimmer Sounds, there are some songs that we are busy working on to finalize and also release. So things are in process. Some are further than others, you know, but yeah, steadily it's supposed to come out.
Who is your target market?
Well, we don't really have a target market, you know. We search for God's people anywhere, you know. So all people, we make music for people that have Christ in them heart, you know, as Jah revealed himself through the Son. And those who don't see that yet, we try to encourage them to seek and to find that, you know. So all of God's people is the target market, and those outside, we try to get in that the target market, so to speak, you know. But it's a universal calling out. There's no partiality. Everybody has a soul, everybody has a heart, and everybody has a mind. So this surpasses and crosses through all kind of so-called classes or differentiation that the world claims there is between people. You know, there is no respect of persons in the message, as he that inspires himself is not a respecter of persons. You know, and he don't change, because Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Rastafari.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, or where do you wish to be?
Well, I wish to be wherever God wants me to be, of course. But personally, you know, I hope to be away from the West due to the things that is coming up to be happening in the West, you know. So I hope to be in Ethiopia, you know, or on the continent at least, with Jah people, you know, and my family, and live a life together in a country where we can live like how we're supposed to live, you know. That is where I hope to be.
As an artist, name some of the producers you've worked with.
I work with King Shiloh, Root Stripe, Muslim sound label. IYAH Records, which is from Dub Creator. On the LP Rastaman Style, there were a lot of producers working on that album. Rust Disciples, Steve Fibronics, IYAH. We did a few 7 inches I did on labels like Lion Paw, New Flower Records, Scoops, and a few more, you know, but those were some amongst the many, you know. I can't remember them all, you know, no disrespect, Rastafari.
What is your message?
Well, my message is that God is alive, you know, and that He's living in us, and that He manifested Himself through His Son, Jesus Christ. You know, that is what's in the Bible. And if you really study what His Majesty said, then you come to that same conclusion. If you really study what Marcus Garvey said, then you come to that same conclusion. You know, it is forces in this world that try to distract us from the real truth while the truth is in front of us, you know. In the abundance of water, a fool is thirsty. So it's written in the Bible. So we should stop look for big mystical things in the sky and start recognize the hand of God in our lives, in daily things, you know, to see how near He is to us. Because He's living and He sends many people around, you know, to carry that message of freedom, the songs of redemption, you know, so that people not only can feel relief but generate in themselves, establish that family tie with God as their Father, not a distant, far away force that they serve in unawareness, but the real, true living Jah, the interactive, dynamic God, you know, King Alpha, Queen Omega, because Christ came to restore that, you know, so that we was not cut off from the Father, because no man come to the Father less through the Son. So the Son came so that through Him we can come to the Father and be one, you know, so that when Jah in the end time will look on us, He will say the same thing as He said to His Son, you know, when He was baptized by John the Baptist. And John the Baptist witnessed in the shape of a dove that the Father said that this is His Son and in Him He is well pleased. Well, that same Christ is the same yesterday, today and forever. And if He lives in your heart and you let Him put the Word of God and the law of God into your heart, as He will if you invite Him in, then on the day of judgment, God will say the same thing to you, because the one that He said that to will be seen in you, in your heart, you know, and God can do that. But we must stick to the truth and read the Bible for yourself, 1 chapter a day, with a clear conscience, you know, no prejudiced mind, no different kind of way of reading or interpretation, so that you get distracted, because the devil is a clever guy, you know. So ask God for understanding anything you don't understand, and He will reveal it, you know. That is the message, you know. God is alive, well alive, Rastafari.
You're listening to Lioness IYAH in session. Welcome to the Lioness Den.
Jerusalem calling, everlasting peace. Jerusalem
Lioness IYAH in session.
everlasting peace. Our heavenly Father is calling us all in this time.
Welcome to the Lioness Den.
Is calling to keep us in line. The system is trying to get Remember Judas Iscariot, don't let him hang you on the road. So many going around, sowing hatred and war. Until it backfires on them, they can't hold it no more.
Welcome to the Lioness Den.
Lioness, IYAH, special request from Lyrical Benjie. From the body, mind and soul, like a puppet and a string and a master got control. Everything that's sick, God can make it whole. Special request to all Bible reader.
You're listening
Lioness,
to Lioness IYAH in
special request from Lyrical Benjie. From the body, mind and soul, like a puppet and a string and a master got control. Everything that's sick, God can make it whole. Special request to all Bible readers. Genesis 1 to Revelation, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and I will tell you.
Welcome to the Lioness Den.
Sign of the times, sign of the times. Try to keep me busy and run down with mine. Sign of the time, sign of the time. Can't you see they try to keep us out of line? Sign of the time, sign of the time. Try to keep me busy and run down with mine. Sign of the time, sign of the time. Can't you see they try to keep us out of line? Divide and rule, the 666 stool. But I safe in Jerusalem school. Divide and rule, the 666 stool. But I safe in Jerusalem school. Cause Christ is the one who raised man from the dead. Change water into wine, multiply bread. So there's no need to fear dragon, eagle or bear. Three of them fi bow when the lion appear. Signs of the time, signs of the time. Try to keep me busy and run down with mine. Sign of the time, sign of the time. Can't you see they try to keep us out of line? I asked and I was given. What else can I say? Then if you ask the Father, He'll walk along your way. I asked and I was given. What can I testify? Then all the power does belong unto God the Most High. And all you have to do is give in your heart and soul. Give up on this world and let Him take control.
Welcome to the Lioness Den. You're listening to Lioness IYAH.
Sign of the time, signs of the time. Try to keep me busy and run down with mine. Signs of the time, signs of the time. Can't you see that try to keep us out of line? Signs of the time, signs of the time. Try to keep me busy and run down with mine. Signs of the time, signs of the time. Can't you see that try to keep us out of line?
You're listening to Lioness IYAH in session. Welcome to the Lioness Den.
Immigration office checking all the foreigners around.
You're listening to Lioness IYAH in session.
Symbolize confusion. I don't know God nor do themselves. They are just too gravelicious and want all power for themselves. 6 o'clock in the morning, roadblock. 7 o'clock at evening, roadblock. Reggae music illustrated. The rhythm life should be running in with the Father WEBCAM money.
Welcome to the Lioness Den.
Rastafari, merciful Father.
You're listening to Lioness IYAH in session.
But only few will be chosen. It's Jah don't want a wolf and sheep load on. Live it up, Jah youth. Many are called, but only few will be chosen.
Welcome to the
Lift my
Lioness
head unto the Most High God, from whence cometh my strength. If you wanna be among the chosen few, you got to get ready now. Ready like Freddy, and keep your faith well up to date. Elevate. If you wanna be among the chosen few, you better prepare. Yeah. Oh yeah. God sits upon the throne of the universe. Earth is the last and the fullness thereof. His eyes are watching you. His
You're
hands is
listening
helping I and
to
I
Lioness IYAH in session.
God sits upon the throne of the universe. His eyes are watching you. Release your virgin. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Lioness Den. You're listening to Lioness IYAH in session.